Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. I'm Emily.
And I'm Nick. Today we're going to talk about English lessons you can do every day.
Yes, and the best part is, you don't need hours of free time. Just a few minutes of focused practice can make a huge difference if you do it consistently.
Absolutely. Let's start with something simple, reading. Even reading one short article, a blog post, or even a few paragraphs of a book in English can count as a daily lesson.
And don't just read silently, try reading out loud. That way, you're practicing pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency while also learning new words.
Great point. Another daily lesson is listening. You can listen to a podcast like this one, or short YouTube videos, or even music in English. The key is to pay attention, not just let it play in the background, but really listen to how words are connected.
Yes, and while you're listening, try to imitate what you hear. Pause, repeat, copy the intonation. That's a powerful lesson you can do in just 5 minutes.
Another one I like is writing. You don't need to write an essay every day. Even writing a short diary entry, like, "Today I went to work and I felt tired, but I learned something new," can train your brain to think in English.
That's one of my favorites too. And if you want to make it stronger, you can check what you write with grammar tools, or ask a friend, or even just read it again out loud to catch mistakes.
Exactly. And of course, speaking is huge. Even if you don't have a partner, you can speak to yourself. Describe what you're doing, talk about your day, or even pretend you're explaining something to a friend in English.
Right, self-talk is a lesson in itself. And you can do it while cooking, walking, or cleaning. It fits into daily life so easily.
Another lesson is vocabulary review. Instead of trying to memorize 50 words in one day, just review 5 to 10 words every day. Write them down, make sentences, and use them in real life.
Yes, small steps every day are more powerful than trying to do too much in one go and then stopping.
And here's one more, shadowing. This means listening to a short clip and repeating it immediately, trying to copy pronunciation and speed. It's a daily lesson that really boosts fluency.
I love that one. It's tough at first, but if you do it every day, you'll notice big improvement in how natural your English sounds.
So basically, your daily English lessons don't need to be long or complicated. Reading, listening, writing, speaking, vocabulary, shadowing, you can rotate these and practice a little every day.
And remember, the most important part is consistency. Doing something small every day will take you further than doing something big once a month.
Another daily lesson that works really well is reading something short but consistent, like a news article, a blog post, or even a few paragraphs from a book. If you read every day, even just 10 minutes, your brain starts to recognize sentence patterns and new words without you even forcing it.
Exactly, and you don't always need to focus on difficult texts. Sometimes a short children's story, or a simple online article is enough to build fluency, because the key is consistency, not difficulty. If you can make it part of your routine, like after breakfast or before bed, it becomes a natural habit instead of a chore.
Another lesson you can do daily is shadowing, which means repeating after a native speaker while listening to audio or video. For example, you could listen to a podcast, pause after a sentence, and then repeat it exactly the way the speaker said it. This helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence at the same time.
And you don't even need to spend hours on shadowing. Just 5 to 10 minutes every day is enough to improve your speech and listening. Over time, you'll notice that your sentences sound smoother and more natural, because your mouth gets used to moving in the patterns of English.
I'd also recommend writing something daily, even just a short journal entry or a few sentences about your day. It doesn't matter if it's simple or full of mistakes, what matters is that you're practicing forming your own sentences. Writing helps you slow down and really think in English, which makes speaking easier later.
And if you don't know what to write about, you can just pick a theme, like what made me happy today, something I learned, or one thing I want to improve. That way, you have a direction and don't waste time staring at the paper. Over time, you'll even create a personal record of your English growth.
Another simple daily activity is talking to yourself in English. It might feel a little strange at first, but it's powerful. For example, when you're walking to the bus stop, you can describe what you see. The sky is blue today, I'm walking past a bakery, I smell fresh bread. It's like turning daily life into practice.
Yes, and what's great is that no one even needs to hear you. You can do it in your head or whisper quietly. The important thing is that you're training your brain to switch into English mode automatically, instead of always translating from your native language.
And don't forget listening, it's one of the easiest lessons you can do every single day. Even if you're busy, you can listen to music, podcasts, or YouTube videos in the background. Your brain is still absorbing the sounds, the rhythm, and the common expressions, even when you're not paying full attention.
Over time, you'll be surprised that you start understanding more without trying so hard. Listening daily builds a natural ear for English, and that's something you can't really get if you only study grammar rules. That's why daily lessons are so powerful. They add up little by little into real progress.
Another simple daily lesson could be listening practice. For example, when you're commuting, cooking, or even just relaxing, you can put on an English podcast, a YouTube video, or even a song. The idea is to expose your ears to English regularly, because the more you hear, the more natural the language will start to feel.
That's a great one. And I'd add writing practice too. Every day, you could spend just 5 minutes writing in English. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It could be about what you did today, what you're planning for tomorrow, or even a short note about your feelings. By doing this, you're training your brain to think in English and not just translate from your native language.
I like that. And if you pair writing with speaking, it's even better. After you write, try reading it out loud. That way, you practice pronunciation, sentence flow, and speaking confidence, all at the same time.
Exactly. And for learners who sometimes feel shy about speaking, one great trick is shadowing. You can take a short video or audio in English, then try to repeat the sentences exactly as the speaker says them, matching their rhythm, intonation, and speed. If you do this daily, even just for 5 minutes, you'll notice your speaking skills becoming smoother and more natural.
Shadowing is powerful, and it doesn't require a teacher or a partner. It's just you and the recording, but it can make a huge difference. And here's another idea: label things around your home in English. For instance, stick notes that say mirror, door, fridge, or table. Seeing those words every day makes vocabulary stick in your memory much faster.
That's so true. It creates a kind of English environment in your daily life, even if you're not in an English-speaking country. And honestly, the more you integrate small lessons like these into your everyday routine, the less it feels like studying and the more it feels like just living with English.
Right. Because the goal isn't just to study English, it's to live with it every day, so that learning becomes natural and consistent instead of something heavy or stressful.
Another useful daily lesson is reading, but not in a heavy, academic way. Instead of picking a textbook every single day, you can read something short and enjoyable, like a news article, a short story, or even the captions on social media posts written in English. These little bits of reading add up, and the best part is that you don't need to spend hours on it, just a few minutes each day.
Yes, and it also helps you see words in their natural context. For example, if you keep seeing the same phrase in different articles or posts, it will start to stick in your memory naturally without needing to memorize it like a list. Plus, reading improves your writing too, because you absorb grammar patterns and vocabulary just by exposure.
Another thing learners can do daily is ask themselves questions in English. For example, when you wake up, instead of thinking, "What should I do today?" in your native language, try thinking it in English. You might say in your head, "What do I need to do this morning? I need to brush my teeth. I need to check my emails." It seems simple, but these small self-conversations are really powerful.
That's a clever one. Talking to yourself is such a good practice because it forces your brain to get comfortable with forming sentences in real time. And if you're not sure how to say something, that's actually a good opportunity to look it up and learn a new phrase you'll definitely use again.
And don't forget about reviewing. At the end of each day, you can take 2 or 3 minutes to look back at what you learned. Maybe review a few vocabulary words, reread your short writing, or even replay a podcast you listened to. Daily review strengthens your memory and makes sure your efforts don't fade away.
Right. Consistency is the key here. If you do these small English lessons every day, listening, reading, writing, speaking, shadowing, reviewing, you're not only practicing, you're building a habit. And habits are what create long-term fluency.
Something else that learners can do every day is use English during ordinary routines. For example, if you're cooking, try reading the recipe in English, or even describing the steps out loud. Now I cut the onions, now I add the salt. These everyday tasks become natural practice sessions, and they don't require extra study time.
Exactly, and even labeling objects around your home can help. You could put sticky notes on your mirror, your fridge, your desk, with words in English. Every time you see them, your brain reinforces the connection. Over time, you stop translating and just recognize the English word directly.
And another fun idea is to combine English with your hobbies. If you like music, listen to English songs and pay attention to the lyrics. If you like sports, follow commentary or news in English. When you link the language with something you already enjoy, learning feels less like work and more like part of your lifestyle.
That's true. And for people who don't have much free time, even small bursts of practice matter. For instance, you can set a 5-minute timer and challenge yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I'll only think in English. It's short, but it pushes your brain into that English zone, and the more often you repeat it, the longer you can sustain it.
Yes, and even writing to-do lists or reminders in English is an effective lesson. Instead of writing, "Buy milk" in your own language, write it in English. Over time, your daily life blends with English naturally.
Another powerful one is listening while you're doing other things. You don't have to sit down with full attention all the time. Put on a podcast or an audiobook while cleaning, walking, or commuting. Even background listening keeps your ears familiar with rhythm, pronunciation, and vocabulary.
And for those who want a challenge, try recording yourself speaking every day. It doesn't have to be long, just 1 minute talking about your day. Later, you can listen and compare with native speakers. It's a great way to notice progress, and also catch mistakes you might not realize while speaking.
That's a really strong daily practice. Over weeks and months, you'll hear how much smoother and more natural your English becomes.
Another simple, but powerful daily lesson is reading out loud. Even if it's just a short article, a paragraph from a book, or even social media captions in English, reading them aloud trains your mouth, your tongue, and your brain to work together. It also helps you notice rhythm and pronunciation patterns.
Yes, and you can combine that with shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating right after them, almost like an echo. You don't need to be perfect, you just try to copy the rhythm, intonation, and speed. Doing this for a few minutes a day sharpens your listening and speaking at the same time.
Another idea is to set a word of the day challenge. Choose one new word and try to use it in at least 3 different sentences throughout the day. For example, if your word is curious, you might say, "I'm curious about this movie," or "She asked a curious question." That kind of repetition makes the word stay in your memory.
And you can do the same with phrases, not just words. A phrase like, "at the end of the day," or, "on the other hand," can be practiced naturally. Every day you can pick a small phrase and use it in your writing or conversations, even if it's just in your journal.
Speaking of journals, writing daily is one of the best self-lessons. You don't need to write long essays, Just a few sentences about what you did or how you feel. Over time, this habit improves your grammar, vocabulary, and confidence in expressing yourself.
Exactly, and if you want feedback, you can even use language apps or online forums where native speakers correct your sentences. That way, your daily journal also becomes an interactive learning tool.
And let's not forget about questions. Training yourself to ask questions in English every day is valuable, even if you're asking yourself. For instance, what am I going to eat today? Or why do I feel tired? Practicing questions helps you prepare for real conversations.
That's right, and questions also open the door for conversations if you meet someone to practice with. But even without a partner, the habit of forming questions daily keeps your English flexible and ready.
Another lesson you can do every day is listening while doing chores. For example, if you're washing dishes, cleaning your room, or walking outside, you can listen to an English podcast or a short story. It makes English feel like part of your daily background, not something you only study when you sit at a desk.
Yes, and the more you surround yourself with English, the more natural it becomes. Even 10 minutes a day of active listening can make a difference over time. And you don't need to understand every single word, just let the rhythm and tone enter your ears consistently.
A fun twist is to describe what you're doing in English as you go through your day. For example, I'm making coffee, I'm opening the window, or I'm checking my phone. It sounds simple, but these little descriptions make you think in English directly instead of translating from your native language.
That's a good one. You can even turn it into a game by challenging yourself to keep describing things for 2 or 3 minutes without stopping. It trains fluency because you're forcing your brain to keep producing English without long pauses.
And don't forget about practicing with songs. Singing along to English songs every day is a fun way to work on pronunciation and rhythm. Even if you don't sing perfectly, the practice of matching the words with the melody improves your flow.
Right, and songs also help you memorize phrases naturally. Sometimes a lyric will stay in your head all day, and that repetition makes the words stick. That's why music can be one of the easiest daily English lessons you'll actually enjoy.
Another quick daily habit is reviewing flashcards. You can make your own or use an app, but just 5 minutes of revising vocabulary helps build long-term memory. It's better to review a little every day than to try to memorize 100 words at once.
Definitely, and the secret is small, consistent practice. Daily lessons don't have to be long or complicated, they just need to be regular and natural so English slowly becomes a part of your lifestyle.
So to wrap it up, remember that English lessons don't always have to feel like studying. They can be short, simple, and part of your everyday life, whether it's listening while cleaning, describing your actions, singing a song, or reviewing a few words.
Exactly. The key is not perfection, but consistency. A little bit every single day builds more progress than waiting for the perfect study session once in a while.
We hope today's episode gave you practical ideas you can start using right after you finish listening.
Thanks for spending your time with us, and keep making English a natural part of your daily routine.
You're doing great, so keep going. Until next time, take care and keep practicing.